Reverend Dr. Watts, Royal Palm Christian Church.
Friends, having read the proposed ordinance, I can't say that I understand all its implications or all the possible applications. I also am not entirely clear about what problem is being addressed. What I do see are restrictions placed on people who are moved by compassion to help others who are needy. If I correctly understand the ordinance, there are places where people are now being helped that will no longer be acceptable sites. And so while this ordinance is not literally a ban on feeding, it is functionally pretty close. It imposes unnecessary, unreasonable hardships on those who simply want to do some good for some other people. Now, much in the ordinance seems to hinge on the phrase social service, but that category is not necessarily the way that a number of us see what we're doing. Some of us actually see feeding others as an expression of worship, and so it's very much a part of our faith. For other people, it's a matter of really just helping friends. And so, given this understanding, and given that we don't necessarily see this as social service, it could be that this ordinance is really just irrelevant to us. If we don't see it as irrelevant, then we have to regard it as unjust. And in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., one has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws. And some of us who otherwise would be inclined to obey the law in this kind of situation will feel compelled to disobey this particular law. I believe that a number of the ordinances recently passed criminalize misfortune. This ordinance will criminalize compassion. And so I'm inclined to say that this proposed ordinance, if passed, will require good and decent people to disobey it. I understand that you believe that you have considerable support for it in the community. I can say that I've talked to a fair number of ministers. I've found zero support for it among clergy. And I know that quite a few members of churches will oppose it as well. So ultimately, I don't see what positive outcome there will be. The feedings will continue. I, along with many others, will advocate disobeying the law. And many people will be fined and will be jailed. And I don't think that's going to look good for anyone or be constructive